Hi everybody and welcome to Andrew Discusses, where today I'm going to be talking about what Pokemon is doing wrong. There's a lot. Oh my god, is this true? There's a lot Pokemon is doing wrong, and I'm joined here with Andrew C138. Hi Andrew, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks Andrew C138. I'm Andrew C137. I know, it's still fun. But basically, I want to talk about what's going on with Pokemon. So welcome to Andrew Discusses, where I talk about stuff that I think about, thoughts that pop in my head, so on and so forth. Today's Pokemon, and Pokemon, since the 90s, has been a staple in anime. I mean, it's not as massively humongous as One Piece. It doesn't have the stability and staying power as Bleach. Hell, it isn't even one of the 4 shonen series. It wasn't one of the big 4. It wasn't Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, or One Piece. So, there you go. However, it's still up there in credibility. And, in all honesty, if you don't know the little yellow electric mouse Pokemon by the name of Pikachu, then you obviously don't know Pokemon. Back away from this video now. Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about what's wrong with it. Yeah, pretty much. So, what's wrong with Pokemon, at least in my opinion? So, when Pokemon started out, it was your basic going by what the game had and the manga with the same name. Now, the manga was a bit different, mind you, but still, it pretty much followed both the game, the manga, and any other piece of source material it had. And that was fine. Pokemon was really good back in the old days. I mean, you had the Kanto region, which I reviewed over on the Anime GBU, the Orange Islands that were pretty interesting, the whole Johto area, which honestly the second half of Johto was the best. Then you had Hoenn, then Sinnoh, then Unova, then Kalos, then Alola, and now Galar. Which Galar is stupid. Yeah, Galar is idiotic. It's dumb as all hell. It's just freaking stupid. Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. Galar is a waste of space. But basically, what is wrong with Pokemon? Well, for starters, you have Ash Ketchum, I don't even know what exactly to make of him. The kid that's supposed to be Forever 10, I guess. He has been doing this Pokemon journey for over 20 years, and he has only won one Pokemon League, or one official league. And that was the Garbage League of Alola. That was a garbage league. I stand by it was a garbage league, and I will always say it was a garbage league. Nothing will change my thought on it being a garbage league. Then you have the league that he should have won, the Kalos League. That one he should have won. I don't give a flying crap what they say on this. Because a lot of people were going, oh, but Ash didn't win the Kalos League because Alan and his Charizard had a better bond of friendship. That is fucking bullshit. Greninja's a fucking water type. Okay? Unless that Mega Evolution changed Charizard to a Dragon type, Greninja's still doing double the fucking damage. Okay? Per hit on Charizard. That's double the damage. That is bullshit if I've ever seen it. And it's like, oh no, that's why he lost, is because it wasn't a type bond of friendship. Screw that noise. Then it ends so stupid with, oh yeah, Serena's leaving. The best thing that ever happened to Ash, by the way, was Serena. Yeah, she was the best thing that ever happened to Ash, because up until this point, you had Ash's traveling companions being Misty for Kanto, Orange Islands, and Johto. In Hoenn, he had to change out because at the end of Johto, Misty returned to Cerulean Gym because her sisters dumped it on her ass because they were going on a world tour, miserable bitches. And then you had May join with her brother Max. May was the other character from the Ruby and Sapphire games, which wasn't too bad. Yeah, she was the alternate. She was the alternate you could pick if, for your gender. So if you were a boy, she was your rival / the female character, and vice versa. So that's what it was. She left at the end of Hoenn to continue on her goal to become a Pokemon contest person, which was idiotic. But technically, Hoenn didn't even end in Hoenn, because then we ended up going to the Battle Frontier, which Ash ended up winning. Yeah, that was Yeah, I mean, Ash won the non-official leagues. I mean, he won the Orange Islands, he won the Battle Frontier. Then you go into Sinnoh, and Sinnoh dragged itself too fucking long for my taste. Both the game and the anime series dragged itself on for too long. It dragged itself on for way too long because you did a lot of backtracking in the game. At one point, you're up at this part. Then you have to go back to this city to get one piece, then go back up to where you were to get the piece that you need to take back to the first place you were at like an hour and a half ago, because you have to traverse so many grassy fields to catch and level up. It's like they upped the curve, because when you get to the champion then to battle, you get to take on Cynthia. Her first Pokemon will literally fuck up your entire day, and that's how it goes. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I actually had to use strategy to beat that thing, and I barely won the Pokemon League. Then you have the after game stuff, and that was the end of that. I couldn't take that crap. Then you have, but yeah, you had Sinnoh. In the anime, Misty was gone, replaced with Dawn. Now, Dawn was a decent character for Ash to have a friendship with. She was nice, she was kind, she was his polar opposite. I mean, it's not that Ash isn't nice and kind, but Dawn at least brought something to the table that Misty didn't, and that May sure as hell didn't. May was terrified of Pokemon when she started out, and then slowly began to like them. Whereas Dawn was flat out, I'm into this wholehearted, I'm going to become a trainer, and then changed her mind to, I'm going to become a Pokemon coordinator. And it was just basically a copy and paste job then of May down the road for what Dawn's character was going to be. Of course, Sinnoh was also where we lost Brock then for good, because Brock decided to become a Pokemon doctor and said farewell to Ash for one final time. Because he had said goodbye to Ash at the end of Johto, then came back in Hoenn, said goodbye to Ash at the end of Hoenn to come back in Sinnoh, and then just at the end of Sinnoh said, goodbye Ash, I'm going to become a Pokemon doctor, good luck in your journey, I wish you the best, and off he went. For the Unova region, which honestly is my favorite, the Unova region is my favorite region, because that's the last one that I played. You have Ash going along with, two other people, Iris and Silent. Silent was one of the 3 gym leaders that you could take on in the first gym, and Iris was the alternative gym leader, depending on the version of the game that you had. So she wasn't too bad of a character, though she was like Ash, and that was the main problem. They kept butting heads too much. It was literally 2 identical people butting heads and creating arguments. She wanted to become the Dragon Pokemon Master, and Ash just wanted to be a Pokemon Master. And it was during this season that it started going over to Cartoon Network. And now Cartoon Network had it prior to this, because they had the Sinnoh region. I don't remember. I don't think they had all of Hoenn. I think Hoenn ended over with Kids WB, but I think they may have had Advanced Battle or had their hands on the Battle Frontier. I think they had the Battle Frontier, because that is where they changed the voice actress for Ash, and I didn't like the change over. It really sucked. And you could tell, like season 9 is right where the cutoff is. You could tell that the voices changed then. So that's definitely, I think that was when it went over to Cartoon Network. And then Cartoon Network, I mean, they did a good job. They had that Pokemon Chronicles that really didn't take off as well as I think they were hoping it would have. That honestly would have worked if it would have been like made for TV special, instead of them trying to push that as a whole nother series. But you had that. Then you get into the concept of, oh, well, Iris is like this, and Silent's like this. So they accompany Ash all the way back to, where was it, Viridian City, I think? Where then they decide, well, we're not going to stick around with you anymore. We came to the Kanto region for our own journey. Iris to become a dragon trainer, and Ash to become a, Pokemon Master, but Silent to study cooking. And off they go. And that's the end of that. And I'm like, what the hell? Okay, so they left, but then Ash had met another person along his journey and was coming back with him to Pallet Town to visit Professor Oak, a Pokemon journalist, with some Pokemon from the Kalos region. And that's where Ash wanted to go next. I mean, of course, he's not going to sit at home and just go, oh, yeah, screw this crap. I mean, he took a freaking vacation. That's what led him to the Unova region. And then there was also the whole Mr. Mime, or Ash's surrogate father, Mr. Mime. I love that, that Ash's surrogate father is Mr. Mime. You figure, look, Ash's mom's lonely. She's home by herself. The Pokemon just was there, and in the first region, in Kanto region, he showed up after a traveling circus and all that other fun stuff. It's like he just stuck around with Ash's mom. He doesn't sit in a Pokeball. He sleeps in a bed. I'm assuming there's only one bed left in the house because she's not going to let him sleep in Ash's room. Oh my God, no. There's a good chance he's sleeping in Mom's bed or he's sleeping on the couch because I have never seen him with the Pokeball. Ever. I've never seen him in a Pokeball. So obviously, Mr. Mime is Ash's surrogate father, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Then again, if you go with the whole theory that Pokemon are actually humans that have, changed, you kind of get the feeling that that could actually be true. That could actually have been Ash's father that could have changed. I mean, look, it worked in Detective Pikachu, for God's sake. Maybe it's true in the actual series, too. I mean, that's a possibility. It's creepy as hell, but it's a possibility. So, of course, Ash is now, back home for a little bit, then goes off to Kalos. And Kalos was an alright series, except for the fact that it started off really good. Fans were immediately bitching and complaining because, oh my God, it's so horrible with the whole aspect of the change in art style. No, the art style change helped it a lot. It didn't look like this kiddie anime anymore that was basically about having a good time with these little creatures that even PETA would be arguing with you about. This was literally, hey look, this is a series that's literally for teenagers that can be enjoyed by everybody of all ages. Nobody has to complain about it. This was a good show. Then you take it one step further with here's, what we offer on the table, and it fit the series genre that it was going for. XY and Z was a bit darker. It wasn't supposed to be this lighthearted adventure. I mean, we kind of got grips of this with the Sinnoh region, with Paul and his I'm gonna mistreat my Chimchar, screw him, and then we also got more grips of it in the whole Unova region with, the whole N and his I talk to Pokemon. I think you're a horrible person because you capture them in these balls. I thought you and I could have seen eye to eye. But yet, he still traveled with them for a little bit and befriended them, hoping that, maybe my ideals will rub off on you. But he admitted then in the end that even though my ideals don't rub off on you, I'm still willing to accept you as my friend. I accept your ideals, as your way of thinking, but I still respect mine as well I think Pokemon should be free and not be forced to battle. So he's basically an overglorified Pokemon Ranger, if you think about it. But in the game, he was just in the game, he was powerful. I mean, I had to take him on. I mean, you have to. It's a mandatory battle with whatever Dragon-type Pokemon you get for the game. Because I wanted Zekrom, so I had to take on his Reshiram with Zekrom, and that actually was a pretty cool fight. You had to take him on and beat his team. So it was pretty cool. But you do need to beat him in order to progress the game. You have to do that. So for a lot of those people, I love the can you beat Pokemon Black and White with only a team of this? The answer is no, because you're locked into a mandatory story battle where you can't swap out and change that Pokemon until after the opponent's been knocked out. So you are stuck in a mandatory fight. So it's fine. I mean, I don't mind it. But then you have the entirety of what I like to say the X, Y, and Z saga brought. It didn't really kill off anything. I mean, you had Serena, who was Ash's romantic interest, but he didn't realize it. I mean, and there were hints of this stuff being dropped in earlier seasons. I mean, Misty kind of had a thing for Ash, but she never acted upon it. Then you had the one Battle Frontier Brain that had a thing for Ash, and he never caught on to it because she was the one that had the whole aura feeling thing. And Ash was like, I think I finally got this aura thing down. And as he's walking away with Brock, May, and Max, she just kind of shakes her head and goes, no, Ash, you don't have the whole aura thing down. Otherwise, you would have been able to tell how I truly felt about you, because she fell in love with him. It was love at first sight for her. Now, you figure Ash can become a Frontier Brain then afterwards. She'd probably jump at that opportunity. I would love to go into like a discussion on that. I mean, what exactly could Ash do as a Frontier Brain? But I'd have to rewatch Battle Frontier again. So, I mean, I'm going to have to do that anyway. But still, that'll be a pretty interesting idea. But then you have Dawn. Dawn never really saw Ash as a quote-unquote love interest. And I don't think Ash did either. She was more like a sister to him. And that worked out well because, you know, she kind of had her thing with that one guy that had the Roserade. No, that was May. No, that was May. Shit, I know Dawn had somebody she was interested in. Dawn had that rivalry with the other contest girl. I can't think of what Dawn had, but it wasn't an interest in Ash. Though people would ship them a lot. There was a lot of shipping for that. Then there was, then you had Iris, and Iris and Ash were too incompatible to even make a joke about it. It's not even funny. But then you have Serena. And Serena was the best thing that ever happened to Ash, period. Hands down, I will throw this argument to the wall and purposely slam it against so it sticks. She was the best thing that ever happened to Ash. She cared deeply about him. She remembered him from that excursion trip that they had taken. And then there's the whole, I love you, Ash. You know, she never actually said it, but she showed her feelings for him. When he complimented her new haircut, she blushed. He gave up going to his battle to see her contest because he cared. It was hinted that they liked each other. And when she left at the end of the series to pursue her dream, she kissed him. And that is still one of the most used memes and scenes around Valentine's Day, because nobody can ever forget that. That was one of the greatest moments in Pokemon history, and nothing will ever change that. She kissed Ash Ketchum, and Ash just stood there like a fucking moron and took it. And it's like, you are an idiot. You're an idiot beyond idiot. But, you know, he's got options. That opens that up. Of course, then, after Kalos, we had the whole... All right, let's just talk about it. This is the whole point of the video. We're like 17 minutes into this, and I'm still going on about my thoughts on Pokemon. Where the series has dropped off the face of the earth, and that was fucking Alola. Sun and Moon. So, first off, I know Sun and Moon had a not-so-great start, even in the games. There was the glitch in X, Y, and Z that prevented you from saving in the one town, but Nintendo rectified that. For Sun and Moon, it was already chastised before it ever came out. Fans didn't like the fact that there was no actual gym in this. There was actually, like, you know, island challenges. The Pokemon looked a little weirder than normal. There was Alolan forms in place of certain Pokemon, which I still find stupid. I mean, there's Alolan Meowth, Alolan Raticate, Alolan Vulpix, Alolan Sandshrew. I mean, some of them look cool, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, no. But it is what it is. But I think the biggest slap in the face to fans was the downgrade in the animation for what Pokemon brought to the table. Because all of a sudden, we're replaced with this kick-ass... Now, we had the kick-ass Ash for X, Y, and X, Y, and Z. All of a sudden, it is town for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Here's Ash Ketchum, doofus-looking version. I mean, this was horrible upon horrible, and we had that for the whole series. Ash was going to school. The first time this is ever freaking mentioned, mind you, in the entirety of Pokemon, there's an actual school. Now, there was a university, there was a private school back in the Kanto region, there was a Pokemon exam center back in the Kanto region, there was hints of schools in Pokemon, there was daycare, nursery schools, but honestly... And I am going to say this, beyond a doubt, honestly, I still think that Ash going to school was just because so many kids were not wanting to go to school, not wanting to further their education, not wanting to get smarter, that they wanted to use Pokemon as a driving force for it. Because it makes no sense for the franchise. Even for that season, it makes no sense. Then you have the whole Ultra Beast, Ash using an Ultra Beast. I mean, I'm almost sure that was an Ultra Beast he used. I'm almost certain of it. If not, that was one screwed up Pokemon, but it had a different Pokeball. So I don't know what the hell that thing was he used in the final battle against the freaking Professor. Because that was the exhibition match for the Pokemon League, which the guy was fighting so hard to get. This is the first Pokemon series to actually offer marriage in it, because the Professor gets engaged to somebody. I threw my hands up in the air at this, and this is the one that started off on Disney XD. This Cartoon Network just ditched Pokemon after X, Y, and Z. In all honesty, I really hate to say this. I was pissed off at Cartoon Network for doing that, but that was one of the best moves they did. They probably saw what the concept art was and said, no, we don't want this garbage on our network. You get that, you shove it over there. You see that XD over there in the distance? That's Disney XD. They'll take trash like this. Go over there. And the franchise just has to look the same since. And now that Ash has won the Alolan League and he's a Pokemon champion, kiss off, he basically seems invincible. So then, of course, we go into the Galar region, where I start having some issues. And I am royally pissed at a few things. For starters, one, apparently, when the fuck did Ash catch a Dragonite? Because I saw a video online that was basically all of Ash's team up to this point, and it was whenever the video was recorded. I think it was like February of 2020, and it's like, here's Ash's current team, and he has a fucking Dragonite now. When the hell did he get a fucking Dragonite? I mean, I know the guy had a Lapras during the Orange Islands, but he never officially caught it. It just came with him. He didn't battle it and weaken it. I mean, he got a majority of his Pokemon by pity. That was how he got a good chunk of his Pokemon, was pity. Now, here we go. Let's fast forward into this. He has a Dragonite. He has Pikachu, Dragonite, and Gengar. He got a Gengar the last time I saw. Now, first off, he had a Haunter back in the Kanto region that followed him around, but didn't actually get caught, mind you. That went to Sabrina. Now he has a Gengar that he befriended, and it's like, really? A Gengar? And the Gengar can kick ass and take things. Why are you getting the stronger Pokemon now? What is it, just because you won a league? Now all of a sudden you're exuding confidence that these Pokemon are coming out saying, that's a champion. That's the type of trainer that I want to have train me to be the best Pokemon I can be. I'm a Dragonite. I'm a walking tank sometimes, depending on what generation I'm in. I'm a walking tank. I want to be trained by that. He's a Gengar that just befriended him because I think Gengar liked him. I mean, what the hell? I'm all for Ash getting more Pokemon. I mean, especially after the whole, here in Johto, we're ditching a lot of what he originally came to Johto with and replacing it with the new shit. Because Squirtle returned to the Squirtle Squad. Charizard went off to the Charcific Valley to train and become stronger because Ash said, I can't make you stronger on my own anymore. You need special training. And then Charizard finished his training in the Charcific Valley and returned to Ash. That's just impressive. And he still wasn't any stronger. I mean, he just got more experience, but he was still as strong as he pretty much was at the last time Ash had used him. I mean, I still think if Ash would have used Charizard in his battle against Tobias, he might have had a chance to whoop Tobias' sorry ass a little more than he could have. I mean, he could have used Charizard, I want to say, in place of Gabble. In place of I think it was Gabble. Yeah, if he would have used it in place of that, he probably would have had a chance. Hell, if he would have evolved Gabble into Garchomp, he might have even really had a chance. But of course, no. Ash is going to win that battle. Barely win it, mind you. Because Torkoal got taken down. Heracross put up a good fight. Sceptile put up a good fight. Sceptile was the one that finally took down Darkrai. Pikachu didn't have to fight until the second round. Until the second Pokemon came out from Tobias' side. But it's like, if Ash would have rethought the team a little bit here, he could have thrown Charizard in. Charizard would have whooped some ass. If he replaced Torkoal with Charizard, you would have had a chance here. Charizard should have had a decent shot against Darkrai. Darkrai was a dark type. It was a dark type. He could have easily mopped the floor with it. Charizard would have had speed and agility on his ass. Then you have the whole battle in X, Y, and Z where Ash is going up against the Charizard. First off, you're going up against the Charizard. He knew what Charizard's moveset was. He should have known that. And what bothers me is that here's the moveset, here's a Pokemon that Ash should know inside and out. And he's going up against it with its literal weakness is his final Pokemon. Greninja, a water type. Water beats fire down. Water good, fire bad. Come on. He could have easily beaten Charizard. But no, it's friendship, and make it a draw and have two champions. I don't think any of the fans would have been pissed off at that. No. I sure as hell wouldn't have been. But no, screw us. We're just going to go flat out. Ash loses. Next league, Ash wins. Screw you. Now we're into this Galar region where we have a new protagonist along with Ash, because they're going to have to phase Ash out at some point. He is no longer going to be relevant soon. Ash is he's literally running the risk of just basically becoming irrelevant because there's no point in having him on the team anymore. Oh, you're Ash Ketchum. Why should I have you here? Why should I even bother caring? You've been doing this for 20 years. You're still barely a champion. You won one Pokemon League. Not the great. You won one league. You won the Orange Islands. You could be a goddamn Frontier Brain. Take that opportunity and roll with it. I mean, you could literally do anything. Have a battle where it's literally 6-on-6. And the whole thing is you change out Pokemon every time. So once one Pokemon battles, that's it. It's literally a battle of 1v1 6 times. Where you can't use previous Pokemon to win. So whoever still has the most unknocked out Pokemon will be defeated. That's an entire idea you can roll with, genius. I mean, seriously, you could just be the wandering trainer that's a Frontier Brain. I don't understand that. How you aren't thinking this far ahead. I mean, the last Frontier Brain, the one that moves around all the time, that told Ash, you have what it takes to be a Frontier Brain, and because you beat the Battle Frontier, you have the opportunity to become one. He should have told him, yo, you should really become one. I'll help you out. I'll help you figure out your style and what you'd like to do. I could give you some ideas and some pointers, because it would be really cool to have you. Because you figure Ash can kick ass and take names. That's a no-brainer. But what would Ash do as a Frontier Brain, though? But that's kind of like a possibility. I mean, you're not going to have this ultimate goal of becoming a Pokemon champion. You're already a champion. You were a champion of the Orange Island Leagues. You're the champion of the Battle Frontier. You're the champion of the Alola League, which can kiss my sorry ass. You're probably going to lose this league in the Galar region, which I hope you do, because Galar pissed me off with their, we're going to segregate Pokemon. If you're not part of our Galarian Pokedex, you can't come into our world in the game. Kiss off, screw you. But I don't understand, I don't get the concept of this, where this is how Pokemon's coming to. It's now Ash is getting all these powerful Pokemon, and he's making more powerful connections, whereas he took on Darkrai, a literal freaking legendary, and he could not get any more respect than that. And that was in Sinnoh. The Unova Pokemon League was a shit show. I won't even sugarcoat that. That was a shit show. He went from going up against a legendary, and he got the furthest he had ever gotten in Sinnoh. He got his ass whooped in the freaking Unova League by a guy that doesn't even know a full team of Pokemon is 6 Pokemon. It's like, oh no, I only brought 5 with me. I thought it's a 5 Pokemon's the max. And you became a Pokemon trainer. How again? There's some laxity with your professor. We're going to have to investigate them. They might be losing their tenure. Oh, God. It bothers me how Pokemon is just rapidly degrading itself. I mean, when it started out, it had a unique feel to it. Travel the world, train these creatures, make them stronger. Yeah, sure, okay, you're basically being Caligula at this point because you're forcing them to do your bidding. But at the same time, it's not a bad thing. It's entertainment. Of course, you're Caligula, though. But it still had a decent bonding and friendship thing. Of course, getting on with all the whole mixed up, screwed up split season starting from fucking Johto pisses me off. Here we have, oh yeah, no, it's going to take us forever. I mean, I remember when I was watching this, when it was premiering on Kids WB, I would watch the Johto League and I was like, this is impressive. And then I'm thinking, it's going to take Ash a hell of a long time to get to 8 gyms. Whereas in the Kanto region, it didn't take that long. I'm like, wait a minute. It's like every 3 or 4 episodes, we were getting closer to a gym, with them occasionally getting lost for like 5 or 6 episodes, and then it was gym time. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I mean, he went to like 2 gyms back to back almost, and those are the 2 that apparently you can interswap. I never knew that. In the games, you could actually go to one gym or go to the other gym. I never knew that. There's like a couple gyms where you could do them out of order. In fact, you could even skip the 3rd gym and do that last if you wanted to, or almost last. You could actually get Surf if you got the balance badge. Go down to Cinnabar Island before you even do Erica's gym. And I didn't know that you could do that. That's still something that I'm learning for years. I never knew. But it's like you have this uniqueness that the game offers, and you have this premise that the series offers, and you go further and further down the rabbit hole into this. 20-some years later, you've lost the magic that it had, and you're just grasping at straws now to get anybody's attention. Ash now has a Dragonite. Ash has a Gengar. Ash is now a Pokemon champion. That should help us boost up our ratings for at least a season or 2. You're hoping that what's happening next will be the next big success, but it's not going to be. Because you have Pokemon that honestly may or may not succeed in what they do, and series that may or may not flop. I mean, bring back some of the older characters. When they brought back Brock and Misty in Alola, that was literally a ratings grab. I will not deny that. That was a ratings grab if I ever saw one. They knew the ratings were tanking. They knew the series was in trouble. They figured, shit, if we don't do something fast, we're going to get canceled. Disney ain't going to like this crap. We're pissing money out our ass here, and they're not going to like this. So, of course, they came up with the brilliant idea, hey, here, we're going to bring back Misty and Brock. And now, granted, they did it in the Japanese one first, and then it came over here to the U.S., but I think over in Japan, the ratings were still dropping. Because remember, when you piss off Pokemon fans and their favorite Pokemon isn't Pikachu but Greninja, and you piss them off, you're going to pay for it wholeheartedly. And I think the reason why they brought back Misty and Brock was not so much for nostalgia or to capitalize upon something else, but to literally boost the ratings because they were starting to tank. And here you go. Now we're into the Galarian region. Ash is Pokemon champion now from the Alola League. It doesn't matter. That's a garbage league. And he's now oozing confidence to the point that people are going to watch this to see what happens. I mean, I think Ash is back in the Kanto region? Or is he actually in the Galarian region? Because it's almost like there's a halfway point between the 2 of them. I don't even understand where the fuck he is anymore. I think it is the Galarian. I'm hoping it's the Galarian region. But it's like there's a point where you're not sure where the fuck he is anymore. Because they were talking about Lieutenant Surge in the one episode that I saw where Ash had to take on a Raichu. And I'm like, what the hell? Wait a minute, Lieutenant Surge, that was Kanto. What the hell? Why is he back on gyms in Kanto for? But it's like, no, I don't think he's in Kanto. I think he's in Galar, but I don't know where the hell he is. Because the episodes aren't making any sense. The premise doesn't make any sense. When you throw an extra character in this that wants to be a champion in a different region, that throws a problem. I mean, bring back Harrison. Have a rematch between Ash and Harrison. Have a rematch between Ash and that one character from Unova. Not the kid that whooped his ass by having his Rolo evolve into Lucario and through the fight. Bring back, I can't think of what his name is. The one that he had his little battle with at the area where they thought there was at that one Pokemon Center. I can't think of what the character's name is. Bring Paul back from freaking the Sinnoh region. Bring him back. Anything. But don't confuse the hell out of us. I mean, I'm more confused and annoyed by the fact that I don't know what the hell's going on anymore in the world of Pokemon. It's not making any damn sense. And it bugs the hell out of me. It bugs the living shit out of me. I can't figure it out. But you know what? I want to know what your thoughts are in the comments. Have you been able to follow any of Pokemon since Ash won the Alolan League? Or are you just as confused as I am? I mean, is any of this making sense to you anymore? Did you give up, like, after Johto or something? I want to know if you've seen up to at least X, Y, and Z. If you've watched Sun and Moon, you know, I apologize. I apologize on behalf of the creators. I should just apologize for them because they're not going to. But have you seen Pokemon? How much of it have you watched? Do you feel like it's lost its magic that it originally had? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been Andrew Discusses.